But above all that is you kind of want to weave a story. You want to give people a reason to pay attention and stay engaged with your emails, because email is not a one-off thing, right? Like, yes, you might, I sent an email this day, I sent an email that day, and they're not always about the same thing, but the more you can kind of keep that a thread going through them, the more engaged your audience will be. Like, there may be a lot of chapters in that story, and some of them will be short chapters, but again, there's a thread. So how you do this depends on your audience, being clear on who you are and what you have to offer, and also finding your own, what we talked about, charisma. That was in one of our sessions. And charisma really is like, bringing three things together. And that's empathy for your audience, understanding them, not only understanding what they're going through, but, having that feeling that how they feel and how you can connect with them. Self-confidence in what you're offering, and assertiveness, right? You can't just, be empathetic and think that you're and understand them. You also have to be assertive and, kind of tell people what to do as well. So who you are is very important in how drawing people to you. So it's a key thing to develop and convey. So for some people, I think that means just be yourself and then they're naturals. But for others, and maybe probably most people, it takes practice, because even if in real life you can be yourself, in the online world, it might be a little more challenging. So, through practice, that's gonna come. So here are a few techniques to weave a story and keep them engaged before we break down those parts. So, again, an overriding theme to your emails. Think about, what do you ultimately help people with, and how do you help them? If anybody here has something, a topic or something that they do and they want to talk about it now, that we could do that. Like, you're always thinking about what is in it for your audience. That I don't even know how you say it out loud. When people say, that it's with I know how you spell it. I don't know how you say it out loud. It's what's it, and Deanna put it in the chat. It's what's in it for me. There is a way to pronounce it as well. As you can see, I'm online all the time and typing. But that's what they want to know. They want to know what it is about them, not just like, oh, we have this for you. I have made this product for you. Like, really, why? And also not just that you sell a product. There's got to be something special that you do in the process. Like for us, I guess at eKit Hub, we create done for you content for people. But the thing that we do for our customers is really give them the information on how to use it, support them in that, and make it, a little simpler, give them lots of ideas and ways to use it. So Deanna says, my niche is self-care and I sell coloring books, journals, and stickers. So what is there, are you doing email right now, Deanna? And what are you sending them? Do you have this, have this kind of theme of what you're doing for them? So coloring books, journals, and stickers, maybe there is some self-help theme, or I'm not sure what it is, but bring something in there. Yes, some of your buyers will be interested in different things, but the more you can have a strong message to go with those products, the more connected they're going to feel with you. And that's better than sending out generic emails to these people and they don't get that connection. So another way to weave a story and keep them engaged is to tell them what's coming and when to expect it. Easy enough, right? In one email, you will perhaps tell them this is coming next. We're going to talk about this in a little bit more as well. Or you might give them an update of what's coming in the next month. We often do that, if there's lots going on, we will send an email saying this is what to look forward to, and then we do little teasers. Or if it's just information from day to day, we might tell them what's coming in the next email. You can also tell them part of a story and make them wait for the next part, right? So you tell them a little bit about something that happened, maybe was relatable to a story, a personal story, and it was relatable to your topic. And then you can, tell them, well, I'll tell you that part later, but today I want to like share this, right? And then that's in the back of their mind. So, and then Deanna, going back to what Deanna said, because I want to give you guys a chance to update. She says, I'm thinking about like ways they can incorporate journaling into their daily lives. My target is mom entrepreneurs, so sometimes they forget about themselves. Beautiful. Like that is such a strong kind of niche that you can get engaged with, making sure that the moms have the money to spend, that you're kind of targeting the right demographic. If they're not too expensive products, then it might be a little bit easier, but just making sure that you're kind of matching the message to the type of ultimate customer that you have. Refer to previous things you've talked about. So later on, talk about it again, but make sure you don't distract them, right? That they're not thinking about what happened. They're like, well, I missed that. Where is that? So sometimes you might link to something you talked about, or you give them enough information that they feel like they got the gist of it. You use your personality, your humor, creativity, kindness. And like, you guys have some thoughts also on like, what do people like about you? I think people like that I think I'm hilarious. And it's not that I necessarily think you guys think I'm hilarious. I think that it's fun. I like laughing at my own jokes. I have this, relaxed thing. That's just a small thing. I'm sure there's many more other things, but it always comes up that I know I'm always laughing at my own jokes and having a good time. And I think that comes through. I also think it's, experience that I have. I've been doing this for over a couple of decades and have seen a lot, done a lot, and have a lot to share. So I'm going to go back in the questions here. So, so Steve says, I have low vision. Today, I'm trying to establish myself as a provider of digital self-help materials. Do you think I should build on the fact that I'm a recovering blind guy? I mean, yeah, that's part of your story, right? And that's a big challenging thing to share with people. And one of the great things is like, yeah, if you can show how you're overcame something or are overcoming something. So whether, your sight is fully back or not, the challenge of not having sight or not having much sight, that's a thing that you're working on and working through. And if you're talking about self-help, that you obviously have an interest in that, and that you are, you're trying to be a positive individual, and like that, I think that's great. Sharing stories like that. And, if you are comfortable with humor, I'm sure if you can laugh at yourself, I'm sure there's a lot of times when there's funny stories you could share about things that happen. And then you're like, whatever, I was fine. because we all, have that kind of stuff. Clive said, just started. My niche is Act 3 entrepreneurs looking to build a side hustle that provides an income stream. Some of them affiliate marketing, others would be their own products. I don't know what an Act 3 is. What's an Act 3 entrepreneur? I'm going to come back to that. All right. There's a lot. Yes, Roz, just like I said, poking fun of myself. I don't know if you said that when I was talking about myself or when I was talking to Steve. And yeah, it's good natured stuff. And it's like, it's okay to laugh a little and see where, how you came out on the other side. Pat is a niche holistic practitioner who wants consistent clients and recurring income, workshops, courses, and coaching. So yeah, and what do you do that's different than everybody else, maybe, Pat? Like what do you deliver to them, or how do you deliver it? Act three is 50 plus. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm Act three. Am I Act three? I am 50 plus. Okay. All right. So there, yeah, like you've got that as well. I'm assuming, Clive, that you're in the maybe in the same group, right? And if you're kind of doing the same thing, you are a great leader. And you said just starting. So I don't know if you mean you've already had a business or you're trying to build a business and you're sharing at the same time. Either way, those are great things because you just have to be like a step or two ahead of your audience, right? They will love to come along, even if you don't have huge experience, but you're willing to share. And that's kind of how I started as well. I was a mom, a brand new mom, and I was like, I don't want to go back to a job. What am I going to do? So I connected with these moms who had home businesses, but they weren't really home businesses. They were businesses like Tupperware and things like that, where you have to go out and do these parties, which is totally not this introverted person's thing, right? So I was like thinking of the internet. I'm like, there must be a way to do this on the internet. They're like, no, not full time. So I did it and I shared it, right? So then I was the leader, even though I was just like a step or two ahead of these people. Yeah, awesome. Oh. Well, Santu says I'm not Act 3. I'm not 60 plus. All right. So done the corporate thing. This is Clive. Done the corporate thing, have my own consulting. Yeah, awesome. And that experience, right, too, like you can talk about how it translates or where it's better online or the things that you learn that still apply and the typical internet marketer doesn't know, like what wealth of experience you have. Right. And Dale has some thoughts for Steve if you want to check the comments as well. And Roz has some thoughts as well. Awesome. And Pat says, back to when I asked Pat about what she does differently. I love building community and giving people opportunities to meet people, connect people to others and the right resources. Awesome. Yeah. Community is really important and never underestimate it too. Through email, it's often a little more challenging. Also, you want to sell your products via email, but we always have like a place where we have community and we bring the people from the email list into that community and vice versa, get the people in the community onto the email list. So we have two different kind of ways to communicate with people. The email is much more commercial than the community stuff. All right. The other things you can do is to, be consistent in your frequency and time where it's appropriate. I mean, I think when people do know that they're going to hear from you at a certain time, or you tell them what time, especially if it's a big announcement they're excited for, you tell them it's coming tomorrow at about this time. And you'll see people are creatures of habit. They'll be looking for you when they really care about you. You can use visuals, personal pictures, and incorporate personal stories that are relevant and keep your subscriber connected to you. And I think one thing to keep in mind too is when you do share the personal stories, is try to make them relevant. Like I know a lot of people in emails, they're like, oh, so hello, I had a busy weekend. I did this and I did that. And I do it in some way too, but it's usually connected to what my overall message is, right? Or when you're sharing like an experience that you have, relate it back and make it a kind of a bigger lesson for those people. So it's a great learning opportunity. It shows you as, someone who knows they're talking about and that you're a relatable person. So, keeping that, like once they feel like they know you, they're going to keep wanting to stay engaged with you. If you found this helpful and you'd like to dig deeper into improving your email marketing skills and even get some free templates to help you out, make sure you sign up for our free list building class called the Learn the Secrets of Growing Your List and Turning Your New Subscribers into Paying Customers Quickly.